Bags, bags, and more bags this week on Mail Call Mondays. Mail Call Mondays is brought to you by Modular Driven Technologies. If you need a chassis system for your precision rifle, check out mdttac.com. I'm John McQuay with 8541 Tactical, and this is Mail Call Mondays, the show that answers your questions about precision rifles, optics, and equipment. Welcome to another Mail Call Mondays, and this Monday our first question comes from Patreon, and it comes from Joe, and Joe asks, trying to cut down to just 2 bags for competition. Pint-Sized Game Changer with heavy fill and a pump pillow are my go-to. What are you using these days? Well, Joe, unfortunately, I have not been shooting a ton of matches this year. Got tied up in a lot of other things, but my goal is to get back out and shoot a few more matches this year. Hopefully not just the Guardian matches. I want to shoot a little bit more, but what I have been using is very, very similar to what you're using. I've got this array of bags here, and these are pretty much my most used bags. These are the bags that I will take with me to just about every match, and not all of them may get used or even get taken out of the car. But there are a couple of benefits here. Is I have extras, so if I need to loan one out to somebody, then I have that ability. And when Sarah and I both shoot, we will generally kind of divvy up the bags amongst us, so we have quite a few different size bags for different options when we go up to the line. That way, when she comes off, it's easy for her just to toss the bag to me, and then I can go up and use that on the line. And we're each not carrying 4 or 5 bags. So I'm going to talk about these kind of from right to left here, I think, because that will go from the oldest bag that I have down to almost the newest, not quite that order. But starting on the right here, this is a pump pillow, and this is from Wiebad. And I did purchase this guy with my own money. The pump pillow here is really kind of a neat deal. Originally, this was really the first oversized bag, anything larger than a sand sock or a bean bag that I purchased. And I didn't originally think I was going to like it. I didn't think I was going to use it. Now, this was kind of on the early stages of the bag explosion in competition. And this actually is not the pump pillow that I purchased. Down at one of the K&M matches, I ended up, I hadn't written my name on it because I wasn't sure I wanted to keep it, and left it on a firing line and came back and it had disappeared. I shot the rest of the match borrowing a pillow from one of the other shooters, and then at the end of the match, a pump pillow showed up in the lost and found. And interestingly enough, it was not mine. It actually had a little bit more wear on it than mine did, because mine was brand new before that match. But going home with a used pump pillow versus a brand new one was a whole lot better than going home with no pump pillow and somebody else going home with 2. So I ended up scribbling my name on it in Sharpie shortly after that, because I realized at that match that this was going to be a pretty regular piece of gear. Now, the pump pillow serves a really wide variety of purposes, but the main purpose is to be able to just fill in holes in your position. So when we mount the rifle on a barricade, there is generally spots in our body, either between our strong side arm and our rib cage, or especially on low barricades, between your arm and your leg, or between your chest and your leg. And these gaps in position are not filled by skeletal muscle, they're not filled by bones, so there's nothing there to support the rifle. It's just empty air. The pump pillow fills those gaps in, and it acts as a bridge between one limb and the other. So very often what will happen on a higher barricade is you will use your strong side elbow, the hand that's on the pistol grip, that elbow will go on top of the pillow. You have these nice bungee straps here. Your arm will go through that, so it sits on your elbow and then on your thigh as well, and you run that strong side leg up. So that gives you a bridge from the gun straight down into the ground, and it kind of works like a monopod for the rear of the gun. Of course, the front is braced on the barricade, and that tends to work very well for those positions. When you get down into lower positions, say we're seated behind a barricade, well, then you can take that pillow and you can rotate it under, and it actually ends up right underneath the buttstock of the rifle, and you can pretty much on some of the lower positions sit the buttstock on the bag and use it like a massive rear bag, and then have that bag sitting on the inside of your thigh in either a low kneeling position or in a sitting position, and again support the rear of the rifle. Now, it's not just for rear support and it's not just for body support. With these little loops and the bungees that you can tighten down, you can slide it over the fore end and use it as a barricade bag when you're dealing with really uneven, messed up barricades, farm implements, that kind of stuff. It works really well because the rifle will sit down in here, and the bag will cradle the rifle, and then the bottom of the bag just fills in all those uneven gaps in the obstacle that you're shooting off of. Works really well on tilted, uneven rocks, that kind of stuff. So the pump pillow is one of those things that I keep finding really good options for it. Now, one thing that I would suggest, if you get one of these guys, get a leash for it, one of the bungee type leashes that you can clip onto your belt. It just adds a little bit more versatility to it. I have not done it yet, and there are a lot of times where you won't start out needing the pillow, but as you go on through the stage towards the end, you need it. And with it just clipped to my pocket so I can get it on and off quickly, I have dropped it before. So running something like a leash makes it a little bit easier to keep it attached to your body, and then you can clip it and shorten it up, or you can sling the leash across body so you can get the pillow to wherever you need, and you don't necessarily have to put your arm through the straps on it. So that is the pump pillow from Wiebad, and we will leave a link through the link to all links down below to all of these so you can check them out. Now, the next bag that we have here, this is probably right now my favorite bag, period. And this is the Pint-Sized Game Changer from Reeser Precision and Armageddon Gear. Reeser Precision designed these, and Armageddon Gear sews them. They are made here in the U.S., as is the Wiebad bag. This is the wax canvas Game Changer. It has a leather handle on it, and I initially didn't think this was going to hold up really well as far as the leather and getting it moist in that. It hasn't gotten just absolutely soaking wet yet, but it has dealt with a lot of wet range days and bouncing around, and I generally have this thing in my pack no matter what. The Pint-Sized Game Changer is a smaller Game Changer bag, and I'll talk about this guy here in a minute, but this is the size of the original Game Changer. This is the shape of it. It is this two-lobe design with a flat top on it. So you see the pint size, same thing. We've got these two triangular lobes and a flat top on the bag. This is the heavy fill bag, so it has quite a bit of weight to it. You definitely feel it in your bag, but that weight is a lot of benefit in the smaller bag because it helps hold it into position on the barricade. The really nice thing about the Game Changer design is if you have a flat barricade, say you just have a 2x4, then you can drop the bag on it, and the weight of the lobes causes them to swing in and pinch the barricade, and it gives you a nice wide flat spot across the top of the barricade. When you are working with rifles like I have in front of me with the MDT ESS chassis, you can see that we have a very large flat spot here in the center of the rifle, and that sits right across the Game Changer very, very well. And with this chassis balanced out, it takes no effort at all to hold the reticle on target and hold the rifle on the barricade. So the Game Changer is great for that. But the added advantage of the Game Changer is it works fantastically as a rear bag as well. I didn't originally think it was going to work as well as it did, but because when we drop it down on a flat surface, we've got a really low portion here. We've got higher portions here. We can turn it sideways and get a little bit more height that way because the buttstock won't sink down in it as much. If I need even more height, I can tip it up on end and get a ton of height there. Or I can sit it on the side and kind of do a squeeze type thing. So this works very, very well as a rear bag for prone positions or even shooting off the bench. So that's why this guy has become my pretty much primary range bag. It is always in my bag. It always goes to the range with me when I'm shooting precision rifle. So there's really not a whole lot more to say about this. If I had to pick one bag right now, just one bag period, to take to competitions, it would be the Pint-Sized Game Changer. It is the most used bag for me in NRL 22 competition, so I always have this at those matches. Now we switch over to this guy, and this is the, I believe it's called the Grippy Game Changer. This is kind of a weird bag. I have not gotten a lot of time on it at competition, but it takes the regular Game Changer design and it has this really grippy rubber type material on it. It feels very, very strange. It's not sticky, but it is very grippy. If you run your hand across it, it drags. It has a considerable greater amount of friction on the bag. So that way, if you have a more angled surface that you're trying to get the gun on, this will grab a hold of it a whole lot better than a standard canvas or a standard nylon Game Changer. You've still got the handles on the side. There are versions of the Game Changer that have these straps over the top, so you can strap it onto the rifle if you need to. Generally, I try to shy away from doing that unless I really need to. I prefer just to grab the handles and just throw the thing up there. The only time it's ever bitten me in the butt is I have tossed a Game Changer up on a barricade on a elevated structure, and when I threw the rifle up, I bumped the Game Changer, flipped it down, and I had to finish the stage hard on hard with just the rifle forend on the barricade, and that cost me quite a few points. So there are benefits to being able to strap it to the rifle. There are some new components. Area 419 and a couple of other companies out there make them that allow you to put an Arkham mount on these barricade bags and then solidly affix the bag to the Arca rail on the bottom of your forend. So the Grippy Game Changer gives you most of the advantages of the Pint-Sized Game Changer. It gives you the grippier material. It is larger, so it doesn't work quite as well as a rear bag. I really probably would not try to use this guy as a rear bag, but as a barricade shooting aid, it is excellent. It gives you more surface area across the top, so it gives you a wider balance point for the rifle. So great option overall. So next, we are going to move over to this guy. Let me get the Game Changer out of the way because this is the largest bag that I use. This is the Coltac Cuddle Bag. So it is significantly larger than the Wiebad, and it has a lot of the same advantages. It is basically just oversized, so when you are higher up off the ground, then you have more options of where to put this in and you just have more room for support. It is very lightweight. It has a really, really light fill in it. So it weighs almost nothing at all. It has this really cool leash on it, so it gives you a lot of options to just strap it on your body instead of having to thread your arms through it. It does still have these straps, so you can thread the rifle through it, but they're elastic, but they are not adjustable, so they are what they are. I hardly ever use the straps. I usually just use the leash around my body, figure out what side I want it on, and then it allows the bag to hang behind me when I'm not using it, or to pull it in front of me, either to have in front of my chest to set the rifle on, or to fill in those gaps when we're higher up on the barricade. Coltac is a really good company to deal with. They put a lot of products on prize tables. So they asked me if I wanted to check this guy out. I said, absolutely sure. The one drawback to this bag is it is definitely larger than a volleyball. So I don't believe it's going to be legal for NRL 22 competition, but that's one of the few drawbacks. The Wiebad pump pillow is legal for NRL 22 competition, but this guy is not. So that pretty much totals out the bags that I use for competition. I do want to thank Reeser Precision, Armageddon Gear, and Coltac for sending their various bags out for me to use, try out, and of course, I'm always happy to loan them to other shooters. That's one of the really cool thing about support gear like that. I generally share support gear with everyone in my squad. If you need to borrow something, just ask me if you're shooting with me, and I will be more than happy to let you borrow it. So that covers some of the more popular bags out there. If you've got one that you really enjoy using that I didn't touch on, please drop it in the comments section below. There are so many bags and so many pieces of support gear out there, it is almost impossible to keep up with all of them. But maybe you can help somebody else out that's looking for something a little bit different than what I covered. But the pump pillow and the pint-sized game changer are pretty much my go-to every PRS style match. I have really stopped taking the pump pillow to most NRL 22 matches, like I said, because I just end up using the pint-sized game changer all the time. Although that may change. Again, I like to bring gear that other shooters can use as well. So that's it on the support bags. I know you guys are wanting me to talk about this right here. So this is kind of a rifle that evolved out of a project I was intending to do, and then got pressed into dealing with a different project, and so it just kind of morphed into what it is. The most notable feature on this is the Modular Driven Technologies ACC chassis. That is the the Adjustable Core Competition chassis. And it is their most advanced chassis to date. This is their flagship chassis system, and it's available for a wide variety of rifles. We happen to have a Remington 700 Action in here, but it is available for most of the popular competition rifles out there. The reason we have this thing sitting here together is I got a barrel in from IBI. International Barrels up in Canada sent us a 6.5 Creedmoor barrel. It is a pre-fit barrel with their barrel nut to try out. And so I had to kind of throw things together really quickly. The action on this rifle was actually intended to go into our Budget Precision 2019 project that got pushed back just a little bit. So hopefully I will bump that up very soon and get rolling on that. And for that, we have the Oryx chassis that the action will be going into. And we have a different manufacturer's pre-fit barrel that will be going on that setup, because that was already a done deal before IBI sent out this barrel. So because I didn't really want to put the IBI barrel on the Budget Precision deal, I had to throw something together. So we went ahead and grabbed the ACC, dropped in the Remington 700 Action as a factory action. There's really nothing done to it at all. And then we screwed in and headspaced the IBI barrel, which was super, super easy. I went ahead and put the Area 419 Hellfire brake on here. So Area 419 was nice enough to send a brake out for us, and this is becoming one of my favorite precision rifle brakes. We got it dialed in. We got it pretty much almost balanced out. Once I have some rounds in the magazine, it is very close to balanced right in front of the port. The IBI barrel is a little bit heavier profile than what I normally run, but in this setup, that was just fine. We still ended up having to add some weight to the fore end to get things dialed in. When I'm not running the bipod on here, it balances out very, very well. I kind of slide the bipod around to get where I need to. On top here, we do have the SIG Tango 6 3-18 by 44 millimeter rifle scope. SIG Optics was nice enough to send this guy out to us. So we pulled it out, dropped it on here, and I'm not going to lie, about 30% of the reason why I like this setup is because it looks good together. However, the SIG Tango has been a very accurate and good to go scope for us. I hope to get the full review on the SIG Tango 6 out sometime soon. The ACC chassis, obviously Modular Driven Technologies, supports our channel. They are a sponsor, but the ACC chassis is something that really has excited me because of the huge ability to do all kinds of things and really dial this chassis into where you want it to be. We got a chance to shoot the prototype chassis and give our opinion on it, and Modular Driven Technologies actually made some changes based on some input that we had into the prototype. One of the main changes that they made that we talked about was the grip on the ACC chassis. So the grip is adjustable forward and back to be able to get your reach to the trigger dialed in. And the way it's designed, you actually have quite a few options here on making changes to it. In fact, you could even take a couple of blocks of wood and cut your own grip because there is an internal metal structure in here that it bolts onto. Additionally, this does utilize an AR interface, so you can put it on a regular AR-15, although I'm not sure exactly how the finger support will work out for that. We haven't tried that yet. So that's just a quick overview of this rifle. The Ultimatum Deadline was really intended to be my primary competition rifle this year, but this is probably going to get quite a bit of playtime because I really enjoy shooting it. The accuracy that we've gotten out of the IBI barrel is just really great, and there will be a full review of the International Barrel coming soon. So that about does it for this Mail Call Mondays. If you guys have any questions or comments over anything we've covered, go ahead and leave it in the comments section down below or send it to us on Facebook or Twitter. If you like the video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you click that little bell icon down there to be notified when we release new content. We post new videos every week, so you'll want to get on that so you get notified when we put out new videos. I want to thank our Patreon supporters. If you guys want to know how to support the videos that you know and love when YouTube lets us down, then please check out Patreon. We'd love to have you over there. We post some sneak peeks at things. We're getting better about posting about projects that we have coming up before they hit the channel or before they hit our website. And we have our quarterly live chats. So you can get on our live stream and ask us questions in real time. All those details are over on patreon.com, and the link is down below. And until next time, get out and shoot.